be chilling tonight. I need to feel tonight, man. Hey, man, where my radio, man? Yeah, let's go. I need you to turn that up. Damn it, tonight. Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio. Yeah.
Pull the way up like we in a club. Fly flashy, grown classy, so turn to the dub. Saturday mornings, no walk of shame, we fresh up. 950 lounge, that's my guilty pleasure. I don't miss my favorite show, I put everything on hold. Work the baby, even the babysitter know. When 950 come on, don't bother. I'm locked in 10 to 1, no problem.
Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio. Yeah.
No stranger to this microphone, no stranger to this show. She's been here several times, and I must say, without even having to ask her the word, I know who the best team in radio is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again. Now, not just actress, but humanitarian and motivational speaker, Jessica Castro.
Thank you so much for having me back.
That green button on down? Okay, I just want to make sure.
I know how to work.
She's been here.
Come on. I just said this is not my first time.
That's right. I didn't know.
It's not her first rodeo. No, right. No pun intended.
We want to ask you, who is the best radios?
No, shut up, man. We don't.
I'm right here.
No, well, real people don't have to do that. You don't have to ask that question.
Okay.
You know you're laying the pipe, right? You don't have to ask that question.
But I feel like he'd come out your mouth.
No. Don't mention that, Jessica. We don't.
That's all I'm gonna say about that statement is wow.
We don't do that on Saturday mornings.
Lay the pipe, bricklayer.
All the kids are now like, Mommy, what did he mean?
No,
Mommy, what does laying the
brick? Lay the pipe down.
It just means I'm a very good plumber. That's
I
fixed the plumbing. I pounded till it's all gone.
That's Leon.
But any event, Jessica, welcome back. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. It's always fun coming,
No doubt. And we enjoy having you. Big shout out to, first and foremost, I have to give a credit to my sponsor, Alan Limousine, my man Ian, for picking you up and riding you in style. I hope he didn't talk your ear off. But,
no, he's good people actually. It was really great. Great conversation on the way here.
Fantastic.
So.
Right turn or left?
Well, the person taking you back, just put on your headphones and don't talk.
Did he say right turn or left?
Yes, he did.
Folks, we apologize for this black Tourette's. I don't know what's going on. Last week he was good. This week he's out of it. I don't know.
They be like, you want me to
I
make a
thought you
right or
needed a
left?
couple days to prepare for your comedy show. You should have, maybe you're trying out material.
Monday.
No, but you should have stayed home today. But Jessica, you're doing a lot of things. I mean, I see you a lot, and I commend you. You're doing a lot of motivational speaking and really giving back. Talk about that change and evolution. Because I know we've known each other now a while, and we've talked about different things. And I know you've been involved in to kind of find the right fit for you. Talk about that, where you found yourself now, your common place you're at now.
Yeah, I think it just came from my experience and just really, like you said, just trying to figure out exactly what is my path.
Yeah.
And I realized that giving back to others and women and young girls and teenagers, especially the little ones, because I have 5 nieces and I can't imagine what it's like for them this day and age growing up. It's really difficult, So I really found my path with just wanting to give back. And it makes me feel a certain kind of way that I'm able to be able to help in any way that I can, So it's a really great feeling. I never thought in all of my life that would be my purpose here in life, but I figured it out.
No doubt.
You the best auntie at Christmas, I tell you that, man. I'm giving back. She's always gonna give me something.
I try, it's 5 of them now. That shit is not easy and it's not cheap. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna give you some spoken words.
Oh, a bug. I need some bugs.
I know she's been on some of Saturday's shows because she's cursing. But any event, I'm joking. Whoops. But I hope you don't do that on your motivational speaking. Let me tell you, mother, get her out of here.
No.
But listen, they might need that motivation. They might need that push. But that couple of explicitives
look,
thrown out there.
Jessica is a beautiful specimen. You don't get the foul
First of all,
language.
she's not a specimen. She's a beautiful woman.
She's a woman. What do you?
A
Well, I didn't.
Her like a machine.
Well, I was still thinking about Judah from the Machine and the
Leon
Robot.
here.
But you've been doing a lot of events, and I we happened to see you right down the block at one
Yes,
recently.
last month,
Right,
right?
last month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, where's the energy coming from? When I know you're big into the Puerto Rican situation with the power, and unfortunately, had another setback this week. Young girls and that mentality, but where is it coming from? I know you've had some experiences in your past, we won't mention today.
Yeah.
But where does it come from? Where, when you're motivation giving somebody a speech, where from the gut or from the heart? Where does it come from? The thoughts you talk about.
It comes from where I was and where I grew up in Bushwick. Not easy all around, and just where I am today and how that happened. You know, I grew up being bullied, and so I was very shy.
Yeah.
And then wanting to be in this industry, it's like you can't be shy and timid and sit in the corner and you're not gonna get anywhere, you know?
Right.
And I knew for a really long time that I was lacking communication in myself and with others, and I just gained all of that with my experience from the past.
Right.
And realizing at one point in a certain kind of relationship, I lost myself as a person, as a woman, as Jessica. And it took me a really long time to figure out why that was. And what I need, and not from anyone else, but for myself and within. And that's where the self-love came in. And just surrounding myself with a lot of amazing, powerful women, some strong family members. You know, your circle really does say a lot about who you are and where you come from.
When you say you lost yourself, when you look back now, because when you're in the I call it the SS Minnow in the storm, you don't have time to evaluate because you're going through it. But when you look back now, what was the factors that made you go off track?
And lose myself, you mean?
Yes, correct.
I was at a point in my life, you know, when I did the documentary series, that I was naive to the situation because at the end of the day, I'm a hopeless romantic.
Right.
And that's, besides being very successful.
Stay away from this
Stop
man.
it.
Give us a violin.
That's the homie right there. That's hands off. That's the homie. That's hands off.
No,
I've heard that before, Justin.
Besides wanting to be super successful in my career and my life, you know, I want to settle down, I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to have all of that. But I thought that was like my main purpose in life. And I fought and I fought and I fought to try and make that happen with a certain someone. And I realized, why?
Yeah.
It's just not, you know, it's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen with the right person. So don't rush it.
Right.
I still want that, but I realized that I'm not. Why rush it? Just let it happen when it's supposed to happen.
I was at an event a few weeks ago, and that was kind of the topic about men and women relationships and how women feel like when it comes, even though with all the new technology and all sisters are doing it for themselves mentality, it seems to come to a point where most women get to a certain age and they kind of evaluate the feminine in them and say, I gotta find this, I gotta find that, just to make myself whole.
Right.
When you do your speaking to women, do you kind of still come across this object, even in this day and age of, you know, self-promotion and, you know, empowerment? Women are doing amazing things, but do you still feel like that's when some women still have that feeling like, if I don't have a child by 35 or if I'm not married, then I'm not doing it right?
You know, I tell them that, again, you know, I hate trying to like bring it back all the time, but that experience at that point in my life just brought me to it opened my eyes so much.
Right.
And again, because I was rushing that I tell women, listen, I get it.
And you did it in front of millions of people.
Yeah. And this year, I'm not afraid to tell my age, but this year I'm gonna be 34 and I still have no kids, and like that's my life, but that's okay because it's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen.
Oh, y'all in the same
Don't rush it.
category. He is 30.
So anyway.
Right.
Now, but I tell them just keep doing you, keep focusing on you and your life and yourself, and everything will fall into place when you least expect it.
Now, obviously, I know you're centric to women, but do you ever have a situation where you include men in these conversations? Because and again, this is just from a lot of events. It seems that it's either one way or the other. Like, you know, people, they'll talk to women and they'll like hate, not hate the men, but
No, it's hate the men.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
I've been to a few women empowerment, and I've said it like the corner table or in the back left corner.
Oh, he was at one of your functions?
No, not mine, because we don't dog anyone else.
And him with the
I mean, that's
we
a
don't
whole
like
different ball
them.
game. No, for the most part, all of the panels that I've been on have been all women. But I did one last August with Sis in Power here in Times Square, actually, and there were a few men in there.
Right.
I that was the first time, but I haven't had the chance to be on panels where there are men.
Right.
I would love to. I mean,
Well, we
Would you do a thing where it's people empowerment, where it's not just a woman empowerment movement, but it's more of just helping men and women? Because I honestly would say what you have to say goes across both lanes. Being a young black male, no kids, wanting a family,
100%.
say
I'm definitely
back
down
and
for
forth.
that. Yeah, I just haven't had the opportunity, the right opportunity.
Now
so.
we're going to evolve from
There you
Rebel,
go.
because I know we talked off mic about some things you want to discuss.
Women could put the toilet seat down too now. That's empowerment.
So what woman you deal with, Rodeo, that uses the toilet seat up? You scaring me now, Rodeo. What woman you deal with that has the toilet seat up?
I'm just saying.
I know, because you just said,
I'm
you're
saying.
scaring me, bro. Does your woman stand up and pee? I'm asking.
And I want a copy of this show
You
as
got
soon
women
as
that
possible.
do that.
Because this is going to be the ultimate black
no,
man show right
When
now.
you're not home and you're
I know
Yeah,
your
right.
significant other. I hope she don't stand
Not
up.
standing.
No.
Because you're scaring me now, bro.
No, man.
I sat on her couch before.
We all sat on the couch. Now I'm definitely nervous.
We're talking lovely Jessica Castro. And now again, even through your, you're also big in the efforts of Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And this week, unfortunately, it was a minor setback. It depends on who you speak to. Somebody hit the wrong switch. It was, some of the power's not right from the hurricane. Your thoughts and efforts that you've done and gotten people involved in what's happening on that island.
Yeah, I, as you guys know, of Puerto Rican descent, so this became a personal thing for me. I have a lot of family there, aunts, uncles, cousins. I even have siblings that live on the island, like brothers and sisters.
Right.
So for me, it was personal when the storm hit and I couldn't hear from anyone. I did not ever think that it would hit me as hard as it did.
Right.
I was emotional. Like, I'd be at work, like, thinking about it 24/7. I'm like, I have to do something.
Right.
But what can I do? There are no flights getting onto the island, either or.
Right.
And someone reached out to me from Bushwick. They work for a nonprofit. And they were like, hey, we're going to Puerto Rico 2 months after the storm hit. We would love to bring you on board. And I was lucky enough that they sponsored me. And I was there for 5 days on the ground. We had a 40 by 40 foot container. We had everything: food, water, everyday essentials, furniture, generator, a stove. Like, we came with everything.
Yeah.
We definitely
Like starting from scratch again in so many ways.
so many ways.
Yeah.
Like, we stayed at one of the coworkers' house and we had no electricity for the 5 days that we were there. We were, during the day we were out and about, but at night it's pitch dark in the house. So we're with bad flashlights and
Candles.
everything, So it was emotional. It was heartbreaking to be on that island, but knowing that you're helping as much as you can, putting tarps on the roof for elderly, it was an eye opener. And I came back and I'm like, this is not going to be the first trip. It's not going to be the last. And we're on to phase 2 now.
Right.
So we're starting up, we just started up another GoFund, and I've been collaborating with some really big companies, and they're going to be giving a portion of their proceeds to us.
Yeah.
And everything that comes directly to us from the GoFund, 100% of the proceeds will go to Puerto Rico. We don't touch any of that.
It's funny you say that
ourselves.
because I had a friend that's a nurse, and she went over there, and when she came back and I mentioned that she just broke down crying because it was like, I can't. It's like I can't put into words what I saw and seen. It's just like a war zone.
Yeah.
And so I commend you for that, and whatever we can do from a 950 perspective, from a media perspective or what have you, because again, if we can't support one another, then what good are we?
So now, the thing I want to know, basically, because most of the people up here in America still don't really, on the mainland, we might as well say, don't really still know what's really going on because it's not really being reported too much.
Right. It's not
out
in the
there.
news as much now.
Yeah. So what is some of the things that I mean, besides the things that you said, is anything else that they must know or what they should try to do to try to help out?
I mean, I think the best thing is if you see someone and they have a campaign going, even if it's $5, you know, that every bit adds up and it helps. Like I said, for us, everything all the proceeds go directly to Puerto Rico. So we'll buy food, water, everyday essentials, whatever it is that's needed. None of that goes into our personal pocket. You know, but there are many companies who I know there's another nonprofit, you can like volunteer and they'll send you out there and you can do volunteer work with them. So, you know, it's just a matter of like researching and seeing how you can help. But you know, every
Is the Salvation Army still involved?
You know what? To be honest, I can't even tell you. Like when the storm hit, and I kept saying, "I need to go, but didn't know how it was going to happen. I filled out forms online to volunteer for Red Cross and something else. Still have not heard from them to this day.
And that's a problem. Really? That's a problem.
To this day. I mean, and I went like as soon as the storm hit and I knew that they needed
Salvation
people.
Army, Red Cross, they normally at all these disasters.
You would think, right?
FEMA.
7 months still, nothing to this day.
Well, FEMA right now, I think at that time they got hit with multiple things from that storm. But even with all that, I think the last ones that should have been over there by now would have been Habitat for Humanities to also help with the housing part.
Let me ask you a question when it comes to those core government agencies. You think what's going on at 1600 Pennsylvania and the issues that we see with our government in place, that those, even though those organizations are independent, but you think that has an effect on why we're not getting, like you're not getting a call back almost a year later?
Absolutely. I mean, it definitely affects, you know, it's been 7 months and the fact that I haven't even heard a yes or a no, are they really going through, you know, whoever's filling out these forms and you have people who want to be hands-on the ground.
Right.
And they don't know how to make it happen. And I was one of those people and I just got very lucky and very blessed to have an organization sponsor me to go out there. But there are many people who don't know how to help.
Yeah.
You know, so they definitely are not doing what is supposed to be done. And that's frustrating as hell.
And I think that bothers a lot of people because when you're asking people to give out 5, 10, 20, 100, and you got people, all right, yeah, I'm going to give out this 5, but where's my 5 really going?
Right.
And that's everybody's big, and especially myself, like when the storm hit, if I didn't know you or if I didn't know where it was going,
of course,
I'm not gonna just give out $20 or $100 or X amount. And next thing I know, I see people on beaches chilling, and you know, they supposed to be going overseas taking care of business.
And that's always the fear. That's always the fear of, like, you know, unfortunately, some people do take advantage of tragedies and use it for their own personal gain, and that's always the fear. But I think we can't be afraid to search out. Like if we wanted to find a good TV show or a good restaurant, we would do the due diligence to find those. So when it comes to help, and if we truly want to help, we got to find the due diligence. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to keep it rocking here. It's Non-Free Lounge, Jessica Castro. Come on back. We're still joined by Jessica Castro, and we're talking, obviously, all things life. Really, you think about it from a standpoint of what's going on in Puerto Rico, and obviously inspiring and helping our young minds become more productive. I kind of want to go back to the PR thing because I know that, again, you don't, I mean, obviously I know you're Hispanic descent, but you don't have to be Hispanic descent to realize people are suffering. When you think about, and we touched on it briefly, the government aspect, do you feel like we're getting enough support, even with all the people like you and pressure, like Fat Joe and, you know, Swiss Beach when over there with the plane? You think with all the media pressure that's been diving into Puerto Rico that the government is coming around, or you still feel like we're being lacked by our government?
I definitely feel like we are being treated like stepchildren. You know, we're part of the U.S.
Right.
We continue to need help. We still need a lot of help.
Right.
I still have family members who 7 months later still have no power.
Right.
No power. Like, that's an everyday essential.
Right.
Every day. You know, it's scary to think that.
Yeah.
We take advantage of that here, and they don't have it, you know? So I feel like they definitely could be putting they could be helping a lot more.
But the problem I see right now with that is that, yes, we should be helping a whole lot. But then when you got the top person, Shady 45, as we call him, inside the house.
Pretty Ricky is what they call him.
Who basically really did not know that Puerto Rico is a part of America.
That's kind of sad.
Nah, he knew it.
No, he
knew it.
Sad
honestly,
He knew it. He just didn't want to recognize it.
honestly, I don't think he actually knew. Because the way he's looked at it, he still didn't know. He's like, oh, they was a part of, they owe us money. And he doesn't really he doesn't really think that. So when you got him, and then you got a lot of other people who don't know that, that's why it's been so much slow, I feel.
I want to say this. Where's the legislature from Puerto Rico that sits in the U.S.? If you sit in the U.S. and it's part of the U.S., they should have legislature that's in the House or in the Senate. Where are those mouths at?
But they don't have a vote really too much inside. That's what the whole problem is.
That's the problem, see?
They don't have a vote inside there. So they sit there as just being as a commonwealth, but as in to actually try to be a part of anything else. No.
But it's a lot of Spanish descent people the few that is in government, you know, Congress, they did speak, like Bob Mendez, what's his name? Menendez.
Yes.
He spoke out a lot on it.
Oh no, a lot of them did speak.
Yeah.
But speaking and having laws in place
doing
is
it.
Speaking and then letting it go dark is two different
Speaking and doing
issues.
is two different
If
things.
that was Los Angeles or New York or Chicago, it wouldn't take a year.
Well, remember, it was Texas, it was some other place, and they got their stuff
Cruz
done real
spoke
quick.
on it for a while, but I don't hear him speaking on it.
But speaking, Charles, people speak because they...
but you still, but
right,
you have
but
to.
speaking is only done because a lot of politicians are trying to keep their votes in place, especially Republicans. You just mentioned 2 Republicans. They are under siege. So they're not going to not speak on it, but speaking and having legislative... Putting money or action is different. Like, again, people not Cuomo, but what Cuomo even in New York State is doing is sending New York State money to Puerto Rico. So words are just words.
See, because the whole thing is right now, you got this group of people that's in Congress right now that's just only thinking about the rich and thinking about
Basically,
they
selling their own people out for a dollar.
They selling out all Americans right now because that tax law was garbage. It didn't help nobody. And all it did was just make sure that people got their money back. But the whole thing is that they could have went and put money towards the disasters and everything else, and anything else that might happen, because we know we got coming up to the hurricane season and stuff
right
all
around
now.
the corner.
Right.
So they're going to be having a lot of things coming up, and right now we basically broke. We don't have money to be spending on things. That's why we don't have an infrastructure bill going on. And then we got people going out buying $30,000 table sets and stuff like that in the government, which makes no sense.
Was that Ben Carson?
Or flying, or what was that thing? The Get Smart soundproofing booth.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of things that's going on in the government that's just so crazy. But right now, instead of sitting there and giving it to the people and trying to help everybody, they spending it out on all the other stuff that they don't need it for. So that's the thing I'm really kind of upset right now with this government. And it's happening, and it's constantly keep on happening.
Because to have a place be that under siege that long
no, and it's not a third world. It's right. It's a hop, skip, and a jump right over there, right there. And it should never be that way. I mean, any of those, and see, you got Puerto Rico, and then you also got the Virgin Isles right now that's still going through the same thing.
St. Thomas,
and all of them right now, they just having problems, and they trying to get the money, but then they got this other, I think it's the James Law or something like that. That's right now that's stopping for other countries can't even come in and help them.
Right.
They only suspended it for what, 15 days, and then they put it back on again.
But I was supposed to help United States merchant ships so that they would get proceeds to
True, but that's
going through. It's an old law, but that's how a lot of the U.S. merchants stayed afloat. A lot of the merchant companies stayed afloat was that James Law.
Yeah.
Because now everything had to come to the U.S. first, and then it was allowed to be sent out.
Correct.
Instead of those ships.
In layman's terms, it's called pimping the situation.
Makes no sense.
And they've
When
been
somebody else
pimping
wants to help you, open your arms and open your hand, let them help you.
Well, that's why you have people on the ground like, nonprofits. They just like, we're just going to do this ourselves.
Yeah.
We're going to go out there. We're going to make it happen. We're going to ship, our containers, and we're going to hit the ground running. And that's what we do.
Because I think at the time,
we're going to wait for anyone.
Because I think at the time too, because I think if I remember hearing correctly, they had over there with Castro, well, he's no longer in power, but they had down over in Cuba, they had doctors that was ready to come over to help out and everything else. So a lot of countries do want to help, but they just can't help because
well,
of the situation.
Again, and I was talking to somebody about this out when I was in Denver. I think even through the process of what we're going through as a country and with our government, what this has done is through adversity you find strength. And if you're going through adverse situations, you find a hero within you. Like you mentioned, there's things you're doing now you never dreamed that this would be
possible.
Right, because you found a hero within yourself. I think as a larger scale, as a people, we're finding heroes amongst ourselves. Our previous president came from ground roots organizations. So we see that what we'll see in the next couple of years is that people will start to evolve that are on the ground because of technology, because the revolution is now televised, that you will see the new leaders arise. We're seeing it now with the school shootings, these kids that are doing these boycotts, they're now becoming the new leaders. And it's gonna be a time where 3, 4, 5 years from now, that 16-year-old kid that's leading a march is gonna be able to run for Congress, is gonna be able to run for Senate, and then obviously in another 12 years be able to run for president. So we're seeing the new leaders develop in front of our eyes.
Yeah, right now, I'm thinking like a lot of those kids that are within those things are voting this year. And a lot of them will be in Congress maybe within the next year, by 2020, because it's crazy.
But once again, notice the gun laws have been real silent, and nobody's saying anything.
There's nothing they can say.
But you know what the reason why it's going silent? Because you got this guy. Yes, I'm just saying, but yes, he's think he's stupid, but he's putting so much controversy that just taking people away from so much.
You know what? I'm tired of everybody saying it's him, because there's 100 and some other people that sit in those houses, and you know what?
But if those guys not gonna say anything.
That's the problem. And there's the problem that we have.
It's the money.
Those other 100 some odd people, let's forget him. Let's move him out the way.
Right.
But you got a House and you got a Senate. What's that? 50, that's 100 people in one, and another 100 people in another one.
It's about 300 and some total.
300
some total people, and everybody's hushed the magic dragon on everything.
And the reason, well, you know what? Some of the Democrats are trying to say something, and some of the Republicans trying to say some stuff. But the problem is, the main people who can bring the bills to the floor is not bringing the bills to the floor.
But you know what?
But then they need to put the pressure on those people, and everybody needs to get together and go and stop being so scared.
But you got to remember, in the government, even though that you're both saying what you're saying, the thing is that you got to remember, if the leaders of the House do not want to put it out on the floor, it will not go on the floor.
But Ed, I got to agree with Just, because when Columbine happened, it was a Democratic Congress. It's not about.
Well, I'm just talking about as now.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that I understand what's going on now, but we can't solely just say it's one side. Because these guys go to dinner, they work out together, they vacation together.
But once,
well, hold on. The perception is greater than reality. Perception is that Chuck Schumer's here and Mitch McConnell's here, and in real life, these guys are going to have steaks. So what I'm trying to say is that the NRA was in existence for Obama's 8 years. They were there with Clinton. They were doing the same thing for the last 30 years, even going back to Reagan. When Reagan got shot, they still didn't put the NRA out. So it's bigger than just the situation now.
I'm not talking about just the NRA. I'm just talking about any bills.
Right.
I'm not even talking about that. Any bills that's supposed to be passed right now, nothing is going on in that spot. They got their main thing, which was the tax thing that they wanted. Now everything else, they just sitting, and because right now they out there because everything is dealing with money.
Right.
They out there now going out fundraising. They out there trying to get the stuff because they are all fearful of 2018 right now, and that's what's going on. So they're not putting nothing in the House to make sure that they can turn around and say that, oh, they can be used against us.
Let me go back to Jessica. Jessica, your thoughts on? I mean, obviously, from a ground roots perspective, but from a political perspective, do you see things like in your community or things with your local congressman that you're looking to bring change to?
You know what, honestly, I don't really dig into that because I'm so focused on getting help there and getting on the ground that to me is gonna happen regardless.
Right.
Exactly.
You
You
ain't
know
got
what
no
I'm saying?
time
So I don't. I have
government.
So like my main purpose right now is just to continue to help in the way that we can. So I don't worry about that.
Right.
Because that's gonna keep going. They're gonna keep going in circles and going.
Right.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
My family, they don't have time to wait till a decision.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't wait for that.
Y'all gotta make it happen.
Exactly, and that's
Right.
what we do. We make it happen.
Respect, Jessica
I feel
Castro.
I feel that God sees everything and it will be done in His time. That's the way I look at it.
So maybe political future, you add that to the repertoire?
Come on, you could do
I'm
it. I would
okay.
love to see you up there, lighting people up quick. Excuse me? Nah, I don't believe in that.
You didn't vote for me, you mother.
The Bushwick may come out.
Security,
I don't know if we want that.
bring him to me.
As long as you never had a conversation with Billy Bush on a bus, you're safe. We're talking to Jessica Castro. Now, again, with all the stuff you're doing, I know there was something out there that you was looking to, was a kind of a TMZ style show. Is that still in the works?
You know what? I haven't really heard anything just yet. It's kind of on the back burner for now. They don't want to rush it. They really want to just take their time and make sure that all the pieces in the puzzle are perfect.
Right.
But you know, I'm hoping that it still will happen because I think that that would be great to add to my platform and my resume, and you know, to work with those amazing people would be amazing because the guy who's organizing it, Danny, he's in the industry and
very bright individual.
Yeah, he's very known and he knows what he wants. So yeah, we're just waiting word on him, but I think that'll be dope because I haven't really had the chance to do something to that effect.
Got one more word for you with all the stuff going on now. And again, I think, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm really proud to get to know you and just be able to communicate with you and call you a colleague and friend because we speak a lot off record. But where's the next level for Jessica? I know you got acting, you got humanitarian, you're helping out, you're motivational speaking. Where do you see it all kind of like coming and balancing into one scope?
Well, you know, I think that the humanitarian part and the inspirational, motivational speaking, it really intertwines. It's the same thing. It's all about giving back. You know, I'm always gonna have a passion for acting and being in the arts. I still have an agent and a manager. I'm still going on auditions.
Right.
Nothing's really coming through, and that's okay. I'm not mad at it, but I am doing the inspirational speaking on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So right now, that is really my main focus because I do want to continue to reach out to as many people as I can, especially the young ones. You know, like I said in the past, I mentor a teenage girl, and they're based here in the Bronx. That to me is important.
I could see you on Power. You could be Ghost's new love interest.
No, you love the Spanish women.
Yeah. Oh, we had.
You know, I miss being on TV.
Know.
I do. I miss it. It just, you know, it just hasn't happened right now. But I know that if it's meant for me to be in that position, it will happen.
Well, just like Mr. Tourette said, when it's right, it was happen.
He's been having a hard time.
Jessica, where can people find information on you? Can communicate? Want to support the Puerto Rican island efforts?
Yeah, definitely. On my Instagram, MSJ Castro. The link is on there for my GoFund, and you know, I know, like you said, people get a little sketchy about where their money is going.
Yeah.
You know, on our GoFund is a video of us being on our first go-round 2 months after the storm, and we are consistently updating it so that way you know we're legit. We're about our business. We're making it, you know, we're trying to do the best that we can. So everything, you just find it on Instagram.
Is it a tax? Is it like a tax write-off if somebody sends money?
You know what? I have no idea. I'm not sure because the nonprofit that I work for, they're huge. They work in all 5 boroughs, so and they're well known.
Well, then it's a tax
probably,
then it's
most
tax
likely then,
write-off. Right.
Yeah. So
Again, Jessica Castro, thank you so much, darling. Definitely
You're gonna
be
be
last.
Weezy, we moving on up.
Yo, can I get it in the morning? Every Saturday I be up, know your name. 950 Lounge on Square.